So today on Product Shop, we are back on the AC compressor cutting machine. Now, where we left off last night, I was probably just rambling on like a tired lunatic, but I made some great progress. I didn't video it, but let me show you what we got going on here. So I thought I was going to have to modify these here to grab these. And I'm not, and I'll show you why here in a second. But game plan for today is one, this bird is back. This bird has been coming in my shop. I don't know what it's looking for, but it's like, look at this guy. He's flying around. This is cool. I should get some bird seed. Oh, don't go. I think he's eating the spiders off the ceiling. Some good protein in here for him. He was zipping all over here yesterday. Anyway, the goal for today is I want to get the plasma cutter mounted. I'm going to build a bracket somewhere on here where I can actually mount the machine. And then we're going to, you know, get it on here. I do want to, I don't know if I want to utilize these, if that's going to work for me. But I did want to try and utilize this tube for extra air. If I can't, it's no problem. I don't know about the plasma cutter, like if it needs super dry air. I think the plasma cutter has a thing on it, or what these things actually are, or if they're going to restrict the flow that I need for that. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, we'll look into all that, but basically today I need to get this thing up on the table so I'm not working on the floor. Because this thing has adjustable feet, okay, I can adjust these in. Let me see. That's 1, 2. We got them all in, right? I could just run this in the way it is. And it pretty much will center it. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. Okay, I could just run that in there and center it. Now, this doesn't have to be super secure. It just needs to spin in place. I could probably just set it there and it would work. The whole thing about gripping it is I need to be able to hook the ground of the plasma cutter up. So I did a continuity test and I can mount the, you know, we'll just go through the bearing. I don't know how viable that's going to be, but we got to figure out how to get the ground up here. I think what I'm going to do is unscrew one of these and put an actual a ground, something that I can, like, you know, strap to this real tight, or we'll see how it goes. But I do have, you know, I can put the ground underneath. And another thing is, check this out, because this comes in so much, I can I actually like that a lot better. That is solid on the machine, right? And it gives me all the clearance. I can cut as low as possible now without these things being in the way. Because before I was gonna make something that came off of these and extend it out. I don't even need to do that. This thing literally does itself. Now, there is gonna be something else I'm gonna implement on this to make everything much easier. And you'll see that coming up soon. I have most of the parts to do it. But as we speak right now, I think that's a good speed. And then what we'll do is we'll be dialing it in. like to get them to cut that fast. Now, I'm already annoyed with how loud that air motor is. We're using an air compressor to power another motor to power this. We can do away with that and just go electric. I need a variable speed. Then I am looking into getting the proper air cylinder, because I would like this to be hands-free. I don't want to be doing this every time. But for now, this is going to work just fine. So that's that one. And then we got this style here. And then the same thing. Bam. It just clamps right down on it. That is solid. Now I think I'm gonna have to put a little ground strap from here to there. You know, we'll grab it somewhere and then now these oval ones, I'm gonna have, you know, this to where it's pretty much gonna be as hands-free as much as possible. I don't wanna sit there. I think I'm gonna either do a foot pedal or an actual switch. I think I can dial the plasma cutter into where I can hit the switch and it stays on. But I think I'm gonna put a toggle, like a momentary switch on here somewhere, just so my hands don't have to be right there. Or we'll do a foot pedal so I can be doing some other things while this is doing its cycle. You know, we want to be able to be as efficient as possible. And I'm already thinking about how I'm going to make this process streamlined and multiple, you know, there's going to be different stations for different things, and we're just going to get it going. Now, the oil, I am going to pre-drain the oil as much as I can. And that bird keeps coming in here. I want to get rid of that oil before we get to cutting it with the plasma cutter. It's just going to make things a lot less messy. So we're going to have to work on that situation. Whether we cut it open with the plasma cutter. Man, I've been here 3 years and I never had a bird up in here. I wonder what this bird is looking for. Wow. Anyway, oh, and get this. So this one has the feet, right? Didn't have the feet. And I've been looking at this machine online. I can get all the parts for this machine. They're not cheap, but we'll bring it around. We'll get. I was even thinking of what I can use the thing on the side for. Maybe I can get it to crush boxes or something. We got AC compressor. No. Now these ones, I think just the top needs to be cut off, but even without the things, this thing will grip it, you know? It's really nice that these things are adjustable. Now that's gonna be, there is gonna be an issue with the placement, but I don't plan on hand picking these things up onto this thing every time. So that's something we're gonna have to work on. And we'll have to see, you know, because there's some monsters over there, and I don't want to be picking them things up. And I don't want all that oil going everywhere, and the air blasting it all over. So we got to drain them. We got to pre-drain them. So I think I'm going to have like a table, like a trough or something, where I either have a drill built into the table, or something. We'll have to figure something out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up in here. I'm gonna clean off the workbench, and then I'm gonna pick this up and actually put it on the bench, and then we're gonna build a bracket I think for now I'm gonna take that off. I was thinking about using that to do some scrapping or something, or crush. But I think it's just gonna be in my way, so I'm gonna remove this whole apparatus if I can. And then we'll take this off, lighten it up a little bit. Then we're gonna have to figure out, like, once this gets off of this here, it's gonna be about 4 or 5 inches lower. I don't wanna be bending down. So I have a couple metal roll around carts. We'll either make a custom cart or we'll do something. So this sits up a little higher because I'm kind of tall and I don't want to be bending over. Then we gotta figure out where we're gonna put it, because this thing's, oh, look at this guy. I wonder what he's looking for. You better not mess up none of my stuff, dude. I don't care if you want to come get some bugs, but don't be tearing up my equipment. We'll have some problems then. I'll be hunting you. All right, we got this thing up on the table. It's kind of sketchy. But I want to take this off here, and I want to see about this thing. I might leave it there. I really got this up here because I wanted to see what's going on down here. So I'm going to pull this off and see if I can't reduce that down, because it'd be nice to just plumb that into there. I could utilize this stuff. That would be my air tank. I could plug this into the top, not have so many wires running anywhere. All the stuff for the air, I could actually, well, I would have to have one coming down, but I can tap into the air up there and not have, you know, all this. We'll see. For right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get this arm off. It's just taking up space and weight that I don't really need, because I might wanna be incorporating this thing into table or something. Get the footprint down to a reasonable size. Nice, I like it. Inside this airline is 2 little mini airlines. Now, I can retract that cylinder with my air. So that all is actually functioning. And wow. Look at the grooves that cut into that barrel. You think this thing changed a lot of tires? Hell yeah. Wow. Holy smokes. Okay, so what we want to do is take this out. Whoa. Okay, we probably just freed up 25, 30 pounds. And I might take that up. Well, actually it doesn't even matter, because that doesn't even go in anymore. That's a big air cylinder. It's too big around to put in there. It's like massive. That's that. I'm gonna actually put this right back with the machine. We will keep that on there in case we ever need to do anything with that. Okay. So what we want to do is get this off of here and see if we can't basically adapt it down to this size. We can fill this tank up. And that bird is back causing trouble. It's a little guy. It's probably been on there forever. You might just have to do the old when in doubt, cut it out method. Or we can get that loose. Ah, there we go. Okay, now, let's see if that does it. I wonder if that's bottoming out, or it almost looks like it wants to fit. Okay, let's just see if we can't. Oh, what we need to do is see if we can't find a, I wonder why that's like that. That's interesting. I wonder how this tank actually gets fed, because the way this is designed, this seems like that's the outlet, because that's just sitting in there, and that would make sense for air to rush out, but where would they fill it from? Interesting. So I'm gonna go see if I have any type of reducers, and if not, we'll have to go get an adapter to bring that down to a smaller size, and then we can just plug this hose right in there. We might have to put one of them valves on this. I don't know, we'll have to see. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have the right, I have some reducers that'll fit in there, but it won't reduce it so I can put the barb. I'm just gonna have to go back to Home Depot and get the right things. Now I have some things I didn't use on this, so I can return that. I have the receipt, and probably not have to spend any more money, which would be great. Let's see. For now, we're just gonna tighten this up, because I plan on using this for our source of air. Stripped. Okay. So what's next is I need to pull this off. I think I'm done with this being up on the table. I just really wanted my table clean. I was wondering if this had the right reducers. Now I did find a straight up like a plug, a brass plug that would fit in there, and I could drill it and tap it, but I'm pretty sure all these things are on a taper, so I don't know how well that would work. I'm done with this. I'm good with this for now. I will sort out the air system. We will be utilizing this as air, but for right now, we're gonna focus on taking this off and making a mount for the plasma cutter, and we're gonna have to make a box, I think somewhere back here, for the plasma cutter to sit up out of the way. And yeah, we're one step closer to making some money. All right, now we're gonna work on the actual arm. We got some rain coming in, so that's gonna be fun. First thing we need to do is remove these two bolts. I tried to put a wrench on it. It's a 3/8 12 point. Wow. Whoo! That's boiling. Dag. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a bolt on the bottom. So at least we got some options. Okay. Oh, we'll keep that. That's a nice piece there. And the ring. We're gonna keep all the parts for this thing. It looks like those screws, they just pinned it to it. They didn't really drive into anything. Okay. really don't like grease. I don't know why they would put so much grease on that, being that it needs grease. Okay. So basically, we got whatever thread that is. I probably got some all thread. I don't know how I want to mount this thing, but we're going to bring the plasma cutter over. I guess I can just clean this and put that anywhere really. But this, the meat and potatoes. Now I'm assuming, I don't know if that's just an airline. That might be, I don't see all that power going through these little tiny wires here. So there's only 2 wires right here. What I'm thinking is, I'll cut this back here and I'll put a block on there where I can tap in a, I'll just like hold that trigger down. Well, I gotta see how that's gonna work. I don't want to have to sit here and physically hold this trigger. Okay. And we want everything to be on one side. Okay, now we can kind of get a good idea of what we got going on. Now, once I work this a little bit, loading this, and like we're going to do a bunch of these that are the same size, I would basically only need to open that about that far to get this in and out, put the new one there, and it should self-center. Yeah, that's perfect, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look around at some different scrap. You know, I keep stuff like this. Might be able to use this. I don't know, man. But we got options. And then I have some other scraps. I want to figure how I want to use this, and I almost want, I'd like for the thing to be almost quick release, to where if I had to take it off real quick and do something and put it back on, I don't want it to be like permanently fix this. One, this is the only plasma cutter I got. If I need to use it for something else, I don't want to be sitting here for 5 minutes undoing it. So let me think on that. Let me round something up, and then once I figure that out, we'll come back. And I'm also going to go look for my foot pedal, because I want to be able to operate this thing hands-free, like just start the plasma cutter from down here. Now I don't know if this trigger lets the air come out, if there's an actual valve here, or if that's, it just feels like an electronic trigger. I think the valve in is inside the machine, and if that is the case, then we're golden. I can just tap this line, split it, and then I can have me like if I wanted to just have a toggle switch up here, or if I wanted a foot pedal, whatever. We got options, okay? So we'll figure out what's going to be the best deal, and you know, it'll be a work in progress. All right, here's what I came up with. So I have a ton of this. I don't even know what you call it, but I got a bunch of it, and I love this stuff for its versatility. You can build shelves out of it, brackets. I'm gonna build a holder for the thing out of it. Basically, I'm just gonna cut this up in a way that I'll have one piece like this, probably like that, and then I'll bolt another piece to it so it sits up and catches this flat spot here, so this doesn't roll around. Because I'm gonna actually have this thing kind of put some pressure on this, and then being that it has all these holes, I'll be able to bolt the standoff, a bearing, all kinds of things right to this stuff. So what I'm going to do is time lapse this next part. I also got 2 wires here. I might just use this smaller wire because I don't think I need that much, because I just want to go from one of these spots. I found myself a nice, real aggressive springed extra clamp I can put on, like if I need to. Man, that bird is just having a field day up in here. That's crazy. Anyway, we're gonna go from here to here, and then also what I'm gonna do is I was gonna clamp the thing over here, down there, but then I realized this thing here, I'm gonna pull this off, and I'm just gonna clamp right to this bottom piece, because that does not rotate, and that's gonna be the closest to this, rather than go down like all through underneath. I'm pretty sure that doesn't rotate. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this hose off, and we're gonna put our ground basically right there. And then, like, if there's a lot of paint and it's not grabbing, I'll have the ability to, you know, I'll just have a clamp right here that we can easily just, I don't know if we'll put it up here because that'll be in the way, but we can grab on the down here. And this thing is wherever it went. Yeah, this thing's got some aggressive teeth, so I think just putting it on there and wiggling it a little bit should dig down into it and give us a solid ground. I am going to look for a better version. Also, now that I have 2 things that are going to be powered by air, I need a splitter. I don't know if that thing has 2 things coming off of it. No, it only has 1. So I have to build a splitter. Ultimately, like I said, we're going to get this tube pressurized, and we're going to utilize that to power at least as an additional tank. So most of the volume will be coming right off of here. Give the air compressor a little bit more, especially now that we're going to be running this air motor, which seems to be drawing a lot of air. So that's definitely going to be on the list of things to get rid of, the air portion of it, which I think I can do that relatively cheap. And then I do want the original cylinders. I got to be able to do this with you know, hands-free basically. How that's all going to work, you know, will be up in the air. Oh, and then one more thing, I need to find a bracket to mount the plasma cutter right to the machine. But we'll get this thing cutting first, and then we'll worry about mounting it. All right, moment of truth. Now, this is completely temporary. So I noticed one thing. With this thing, there's going to be an issue with height, especially on the really big ones, like that big blue one I got over there. I'm not going to be able to cut the top. I don't even know where you would cut that one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have I'm going to have something come up here, and there'll be a slide, a quick release adjustable slide thing that'll go up and down. And eventually I'm going to have a clamp that'll just quickly, with a T-handle, clamp this down in there, so that if I have to take it out and make some cuts or whatever, it's not just bolted in there and it's going to be a whole production to get it out. It's going to just be, you know, maybe even like a quick release, kind of like a quick release hub on a bicycle. That's actually a great idea. I like that idea. I think I might have some bicycle rims here I can rob some off of. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to test it. Now, I poked a hole in the bottom of these, let them drain. I will be draining the oil most likely prior to cut in. I don't know, I'll have to see. It just seems like it's going to be a whole mess. And then originally I was going to clamp onto this thing with the ground, but unfortunately this whole piece here is plastic, so I will have to I think what I'm going to do is find a bolt underneath, because this ring here, I hit that with my continuity tester, and I did hit these bolts here, which I believe bolt that down, and I did get some good readings. So I mean, I might be able to just put this on and it might work. So let's just check that real quick. I did add another ground right here, that way when I put them on, if I have to, so that bolt will work. What I'll do is I'll take one of them bolts out, and then basically I'll put a little, I'll clean it real good so it's actually better contact. I'll run a little wire up underneath of there and have a nice bus bar to clamp onto. But let's try this thing out. Now I have no idea how this is gonna go, so we're gonna find out together. Unfortunately, there are two things I need to do. It's getting late in the day, and I want to kind of wrap this up for the day. I need a standoff, which I could probably just zip tie something right to here for now. And you know, I was thinking about a bearing and all. It doesn't even have to be a bearing. I could just, I was actually thinking of taking a ball bearing, just a piece of flat like this, but cut a nice round, so it just kind of rides on there. It doesn't have to be anything special, just like a ramp, you know? Doesn't even have to roll. And I will be putting a spring on here to keep this tensioned, so that when I do those, I could just turn it all on and it'll do its thing. Unfortunately, right now, I can't do those. Well, I can, but it's gonna be harder, but I can do that bigger one, and I can just adjust it right here. So let's get that in there. Oh, big boy. And she's still dripping. Okay, so we want to get a little extra. Okay, that's down out of the way. We're going to bring this over. I'm going to assume we're going to cut it right about there. Okay, now we got our air motor. So I am going to have to put the wheel on there because this is slightly off, I mean, by just a little bit. And then there's the weld, which sticks out a little bit. So let me get my glasses on, and then let's see if this thing will work. Okay. Now we're transferring in. So this is all stuff I'm gonna have to took I'm running 2 air compressors right now and a 220 plasma cutter. So the speed is definitely important, and the angle of that thing is definitely important. Woo! All right, the battery died. And that Ingersoll ran. I'm running that Ingersoll ran for the first time. That thing's a beast, man. That thing fires up with some authority. So, I mean, we'll have plenty of air. And if I hook that one up, see, that's a 2-cylinder, that's a 2-cylinder. That's a 4-cylinder with an intercooler and an 80-gallon tank. That thing's a beast. I do got a 220 motor, a 7.5 horse 220 motor for that thing, finally. And it looks like we're gonna need it. Well, the plasma cutter is one thing, but eventually we're definitely getting rid of the air motor on this, because I think that's gonna draw way more power. I could put a little 1-horse motor on this to spin this, so that's not gonna be an issue. Now, ooh, that's hot. The thing is, I gotta learn where the right place to actually cut these. You know, we wanna get this thing dialed in. Oh, I see. There's a spot weld here. I wonder if that thing's holding on. Also, I noticed, I don't know if that's copper in there, but there'll be little chunks. We're gonna get all the copper, don't you worry. Every little bit. For a first cut, I mean, I'm okay with that. I probably should have cut a little higher. It looks like I should have came up just underneath the weld. So we'll keep that in mind. To me, that's prepared steel. Now, about getting this thing out. Huh. Whoa! Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should have cut below this. I think that's what it is. Maybe we need to cut below that. The bottom came out nice. Just put this right here. Probably still draining a little bit. Now, this is something. Shoot. I'll send that as prepared steel. This is something I'm interested in because these are huge chunks of aluminum. Now, I was selling this thing for irony aluminum last time I did these, but I'm wondering if I melted that aluminum out, would it be better? I don't know. I'm gonna put that over there for now. And I believe that's another piece of cast. That's got some real tiny little screws. Maybe it's not worth messing with. I mean, I hate to throw aluminum away. Now this is where the quick release setup is going to come in handy, because if I just want to take this off and then come in here. Wow. Put my glove on, man. It's like a bowl of fire. That piece is definitely aluminum. Paired steel. That's kind of tough to get out of there. I don't know if that's going to warrant doing that, but I mean, it will add up. Even if I just took the plasma cutter and like cut it out and threw it with the iron aluminum, it would be worth twice as much. A whole 55-gallon drum of them might add up to something. I don't know. Have you guys ever taken those out? Now I know you got to keep the cutter to the bottom. All I know is this stuff is going to make a mess. So we gotta have oil control in mind. Well, I'll tell you what, man, that made a nice cut around there. Got to get that cut just in the right spot. I can see that this stuff here is kind of in the way. I think that's going to be it for today's video. I have some more dialing in to do. Definitely going to need a cam lock quick release. I got to be able to take that out and make some extra cuts. Definitely got to work on the air situation. I don't have a splitter, unfortunately, so I'm running 2 air compressors. And I can already tell this air motor is going to suck up a lot of air. I think that's more important than actually the air cylinder that I want to replace. I can deal with that. I'm gonna need, I can already see forward and reverse is a must with this. So I'm gonna need a forward and reversible variable speed motor, if that's even a thing. We're gonna look into that. Whatever it's gonna take to do that, we'll have to accomplish that. But as for now, we made some beautiful cuts. I still need to make a standoff, a better system for holding these. I got to get familiar with where to make the cuts. That's obviously very important. And yeah, man, we're gonna be knocking out some AC compressors, man. Let's get this thing in. We gotta at least get the copper out of here. Let's see what we got to do here. I mean, we got that split and it should come out. That's another thing. We got to think. So where the weld is, there is a gap. It's always good to have a gap when you're plasma cutting. I'm going to hit that side right there. Well, I guess I can start and go down as far. See, that's the problem. We don't have enough stroke, so this thing needs to be adjustable because, bam, we're bottoming out there. I'd like to go down. This should get down flush over there. I should be able to cut right at the bottom. So we'll get it worked out. We're just gonna run it and work out the kinks and get everything dialed, man. That's what we're after. Our first AC compressor on the modified wheel changer tire machine. This is something to be desired over here, but the concept is there, it works. But I plan on getting some monsters. So even though this goes up and down, it only has a stroke from here to here. So that big blue thing is going to be like, that thing is huge, it's like this big. So I'm going to need like a track system, quick release. I'll have the quick release like over here or something where I could bring that thing up. You know, we'll figure it out, man. This is just the beginning. Once I start running through boxes of these things, we're gonna get this thing dialed, man. Variable speed, forward and reverse electric is a must. We're gonna need a better plasma cutter because I don't see that lasting. We're gonna have to work on the air system. We want to pull air from that cylinder right there. And yeah, I'm super stoked, man. I'm ready to rock. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned because we're gonna have all kinds of copper pulling. I got big generators out here. I got a huge one out front. I got one I'm going to get Tuesday. And then I got 2 other big generators that I'm supposed to go get. So we're gonna have a stator splitting marathon going on over here over the next week, man. We're gonna put that thing to work. I also have 2 hydraulic pumps that I got for free almost. Basically, I bought them as scrap. I think I can get them to power. I don't need 100 tons to hold these things or to split. I think I can get those pumps as long as they have enough fluid to run the ram, because that's a pretty big cylinder. I think I can use the they're 110 pumps, man, 3600 psi. They're small, but instead of me bringing that pump over there and bringing it back and forth, I can use that pump, and it might even have a higher flow rate. So stay tuned for all that. And if you have any suggestions or ideas, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before? £1,600 of copper. A lot of it's 500 MCM, and a lot of it is already cut in nice 4-foot pieces. So, well, I'm gonna blow through this bin. This bin looks like majority of this is 500.